Welcome back to Crossroader, your wide open moto podcast. Anaheim 1 is upon us, and we're back for 2026, and we're ready better than ever. Of course, I'm your host, Eric Nichols, and with me, we got some guests starting off. Zach Rowe, welcome back, Zach.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be back. Hopefully, it's more consistent this year.
Hell yeah. And then we got a newcomer. He's been on in the past, but James, welcome, James.
What's going on? Happy to be back. Ready for A1.
Let's do it. And then Justin Reese, he said he's going to wear the goggles, but he pussied out, of course. What's up, Justin?
Oh, whatever. Fizzle Lagoon Jumpy be the same thing. So, what's up, guys? Ready for a new year? Ready to get this fucking racing going?
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Before we get to A1 and our picks and our predictions, who we think is going to shine, who we think is going to fall off, I did want to notate, the schedule for 2026. So a couple of big notes that I put in here. So the first 6 rounds are going to be 250 West Coast, which is cool because in previous rounds, we've seen it where they would go a couple west, then they do east, then they go west, and back and forth. It was kind of chaotic. So that's one thing. There's 3 Triple Crowns this season, round 4 at Houston, round 9 at Indy, and round 14 at Cleveland. Cleveland is one of the new stops this year as well. I believe St. Louis is, and then there's one other one I can't think off the top of my head. Does anyone know what the next one is? I know it's Cleveland. I know it's St. Louis, and I thought there was another
Big
one.
Indy.
Is the Indy one?
No, there's Nashville. They're going back to Nashville this year. I think they
Back,
skipped it last
yeah.
year.
I thought that was
Was
one
it?
that was like brand new. But yeah, Nashville back on the circuit. Philly's on there. There's going to be 3 East-West shootouts: Bama, St. Louis. So Bama round 10, St. Louis round 12. So pretty short gap between those two. And then of course Salt Lake round 17. And then there's 5 SMX next races this season, which I think is more than what we usually see. Round 3 at A2, round 4 at Houston, round 8 at Daytona, round 9 at Bama, and round 15 at Philly. But Zach, we'll start off with you. Anything as far as the 2026 Supercross schedule that kind of stands out to you, or any round that you're really looking forward to?
Glendale. I mean, we always go to Glendale, so it's going to be a fun one. I think that is the Triple Crown. I don't remember if you said that or not.
No Triple Crown.
Glendale is always a fast track. It's always a good racing track. In my opinion, one of the best on the circuit. So I'm excited to get there and check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously the largest floor, right? They always have a pretty sick track. I mean, last year they had the huge booters, going across, the start. So yeah, Glendale is always, one of the top of the list there. James, over to you. Anything on the schedule that kind of stands out to you? I know you're from, the Pacific Northwest. We got Seattle fairly early. I think I saw it's like round 5.
Yeah, that's
what's that weather going to look like?
Seattle in mid-February, man. We might get a snow mutter if we're lucky. That's a bold choice by Feld and the AMA to push it that early. Certainly going to be mutter, and it's certainly going to be cold. So it'll be a tough one to pick and a fun one to watch from the warmth of my couch.
I guess we got snowcross in February.
Yeah, maybe they'll throw tracks on it like those snow bikes, and they can rip around. That'd be kind of sick.
That would be wild. Yeah,
Hey, just bring the snowmobiles out. Fuck it, dude. What is it? What's that? Tucker. I don't remember his last name, but that guy was a stud on a snowmobile. And they did the racing of that.
Yeah, and then Justin, what about you? Anything stand out to you? I mean, 5 SMX next rounds. I mean, what are some big names that we're going to see? What Landon Gordon's going to be out there?
I think
probably Ryder Malinowski. But yeah, what stands out to you?
I think the biggest disappointment is Glendale not being a Triple Crown. Just one, because that's where, we always go. And, I mean, I think it's the best track normally almost all year because, like Zach said, it's like the biggest floor that they can race on. So normally the track's really good and, 3 gate drops on a track like that. You want to see as much racing as possible. I think it's cool they're going to new spots. Cleveland, I guess, haven't been there since the 70s or 80s. So it's cool they're bringing in new places. I wish they would go to some more college stadiums. Go to Michigan, go to Ohio State, some of these bigger stadiums. But I think it's probably a problem with probably parking with some of these college campuses.
Well, it's not great for TV either. I mean, those stadiums hold 100,000 people. Supercross maybe gets
we can fill it up.
30, 40 maybe.
I mean, if you're going to an area where people want to watch, they'll go.
Yeah, true. But yeah, we got a few new rounds. Yeah, a few new rounds on there. I think that, I mean, Cleveland, St. Louis, Nashville being back, of course. But yeah, I mean, big changes for Glendale. It's always been a Triple Crown for as long as I can remember. So yeah, kind of a bummer there. All right, let's jump into, the A1, starting off with this track layout. A couple of changes this year. So there will be no free practice. Zach, we'll start with you. What kind of impact do you think the no free practice session is going to do for this track? Is it going to impact the privateers, or maybe going to give it a little bit more track prep, or what do you think that impacts as far as the race day?
I don't know, because honestly, like, I've been looking at comments and stuff like that from riders themselves. Some are for it, some are against it. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of air. Obviously, I've never been on a time crunch type of day like that, so I couldn't tell you, if it would affect me or not. What's surprising is some of the privateers I've seen saying that it's better for them.
Hmm.
Gosh dang, what's his name? The OnlyFans kid.
Logan Carnell.
Logan Carnell, yeah, he came out and said that he thinks it's better for everyone and this and that. And I'm kind of like thinking, man, if you're B practice, you know what I mean? Like, you want to get as little or more time on that friggin' track as you can, you know what I mean? And just to make the night show. So it's a toss up for me. I don't know which way to go on it.
Yeah, and James, that's surprising because what I've heard is the privateers are like, "Hey, this hurts us because we need more time." But I'm on the side of, "Hey, this is a professional sport. Figure it out." Everyone has tracks now that they practice on. These tracks are always built the same. But it does look like it's going to shorten the day. I mean, I think I want to say Anaheim kicks off at like 4 p.m. Like, it's a pretty early
Yeah.
start with this change, James.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to impact the privateers more so than a factory team. Every factory team has, Star has 10 different tracks they can ride and getting built to be exactly A1 or Glendale, wherever they're riding. Where privateers, these guys or the guys that haven't been, riding as much, professionally, they're not used to getting thrown in and kind of flowing with the punches. Where they're going to get impacted with less time on the track for sure. I'm kind of for it. Just figure it out, kind of. But we'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to shift things for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and then just so I hope that the big piece of this is that it gives the track crew more time to make changes to the track, groom it a little bit, fix some sections in there. But what do you think as far as just no free practice?
I think it's good. These guys are so good nowadays, and all the tracks are to spec. It's not like back in the day where you had different track builders building each stadium. It was changing every week to week. And most of these guys are having the track crew build tracks for them in the off season, and the bikes are so capable now. It's easy for them. They can figure it out. It's not that hard. I felt like free practice was, maybe see some more injuries just because it's more time on the track, more chances to get hurt. And for the privateers, I think it's good because it's a little bit less of a rush, just get their bikes fixed, get their bikes washed, in between each practice session. They know they got 2 sessions. It's a little bit later in the day. It's going to flow probably a little bit easier.
Yeah. And then let's get into this track
Real
layout.
quick,
A couple of notes that I put in here. Yeah, Zach, go ahead.
so you talked about that track prep and everything. Has Feld came out and said something that since the time on track's going to be shorter, they're going to be doing more prep, or no?
Well, if you look at the actual race day schedule, the track prep and track maintenance only increased by like 3 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's a whole nother but it's what, 6 sessions that are on, or 6 sessions that are on the track. You don't got 450C, 450B, 458. That's six times, what is it, 10 minutes? So an extra hour less of tracks on the bike, so it's not going to deteriorate as much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. So less work, but yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. Maybe instead of having 30 minutes to work on the track, they'll have 45 minutes or 50 minutes to really kind of dig into it. But I think the big thing is that the night show. I mean, it starts at 4 p.m. local time, so it's fairly early on the East Coast. So I think that's kind of really the big push, and it sounds like the reason for that is just to get in a little bit better of a TV window to get more viewers. So opening ceremonies might be kind of weird, or the first motos, with sunlight out. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. But Zach, going into this track layout, we were looking at it earlier today. What stands out to you looking at A1 track layout?
It looks a little longer. Like they used more of the stadium better way this year. Sometimes I've seen some A1 tracks that I thought were kind of small, so it kind of looks like they spread everything out and used some long rhythm lanes and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and then James, you talked about that back rhythm. It's a long rhythm. We've kind of seen something similar in Glendale, how it has that bend, in about halfway through, which it tends to make it one line. But who knows? Maybe this one might be a little bit different. But what stands out to you with this track?
Yeah, you kind of touched on it already, Eric, with that long rhythm lane that bends that goes across that against the stands there. You know, it's similar to last year. So guys that rode it last year might have a little bit of an upper hand of knowing that flow, knowing that rhythm, and if it does get lined, you know, which line to take, double in, double out, whatever, triple in. But other than that, you know, nothing really stood out to me too much. They went from the split lane last year
Mhm.
start to just one gate this year, which probably won't make all that much of a difference. But you know, long rhythms and you know, that long straight after the finish line into that tight
Mhm.
section before the whoops is probably going to be a good spot for some good passing, I would say.
Yeah, and Justin, that's what I noted too. If you look right before the finish line, it's like a 180 turn, but it is coming off of a straight across the start. I mean, these guys are going to be hauling ass in there, and I think it's going to create some chaos, heading into that last turn.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. And you got, a triple coming in with a left coming across the start. So that's going to be a big passing opportunity right there. It looks like the rhythms are, the lanes are longer.
Hmm.
Like they were kind of saying, just with the way they kind of routed the track. It's a left turn A1. Last time Austin Forkner saw this, he died about 30 feet out the gate. Hopefully it's 450 debut. Hopefully he can make it at least through the first corner. But I think it's going to provide good racing. I hope that back section doesn't turn one lined. But I think that could be a passing opportunity too. You could shut someone off and then, maybe still be able to hit the triple, and someone's got to roll it or double it. So I can't wait. I'm just excited.
Yeah, long rhythms often, mean that we might see some different rhythm sections will be nice. I have heard rumors that we're gonna see more, 10, 11 whoop sections this season. So hopefully we'll see some longer
Finally.
whoops. I mean, I
Yeah,
watched a
about
lot of the
time.
WSX and they always had big whoops and it was a separator. So hopefully we see the same thing, heading into Supercross this year. Well, all right. Anything else as far as the track layout before we get into this 250 West group?
Looking at it right now, before the sand section, is that a big double across the starting corner? Are you guys not
I'm
looking
not
at the
sure. Does
Across
picture?
the
anyone else have
starting
it pulled
corner.
up?
Okay, it's kind of like
Before the sand, it looks like it's like a triple into the sand. Or are you talking
well,
about on
no,
the inside
like
corner of the sand?
no, from when you cross the start straight. Is that a double over the start straight right there?
No.
I think
No,
it's just like a little like speed hump
I did just
gotcha.
realize, yeah, like coming into the corner right there that
Yeah,
you're
just to
talking
try to
about.
slow them down.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably gonna be like a roller or something like that. But I just realized it is an over under right
that's
there
what. Well, that's
before
what I was
they.
asking. If it was a double right before the over under because
Oh, before the
that could
over
be
under,
sketchy,
yeah.
dude. Someone
It's a
walked up on that thing and riding like
oh,
McAdoo.
it's a. It looks like it's a split. The inside's got like a raise on it, and it looks like the
Gotcha.
outside you could like either triple on. I don't know. They're trying to give you a triple on. Yeah, there might be a McAdoo situation.
No.
Damn.
Well, he
Justin
is
just
right.
bringing out all the horror memories for these
Yeah.
riders.
He is
Sackadoo.
racing, so
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I don't remember last time he was on the West Coast. But well, all right. Well, yeah.
probably
Well, I mean, we'll see. Race day live. Obviously, you're going to post it. We'll get that first look. Obviously, press day. We'll get some shots as well. But exciting for this track. Anaheim usually has a pretty good format out there. So yeah, excited to see how this track shapes up. Well, let's jump into the boys. Let's jump into this 250 West. Now, we won't talk about 250 East until we get to the 250 East round. But I mean, I think we can all agree that Haiden Deegan is the favorite for the West Coast. My question to you, and Zach, we'll start with you. He's a favorite. What does this look like, or what are you anticipating Deegan look like? Do you think this is going to be total domination? This is what, his third year. His competition isn't really that strong. Shimoda is out. But what are you expecting from Deegan? Do you think potential sweep? Do you think he's going to win majority of it? Or are we going to see some last year where he could have some struggles again?
I think for him it's kind of has to be a dominant performance in this series. If he's not dominant, you kind of look at him going into the 450s. Like, is that could be questionable for teams to get him? Oh, I know he's locked in a star for a while, but afterwards, so it's he's got to put on a performance and show everyone that he is the next guy coming up. Otherwise, could hinder his career in the future, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And then James, over to you. Deegan's never won. Anaheim won. I'm sure that's something that it's on his bucket list. But what expectations do you have for Deegan?
I mean, you kind of touched on it, Eric. He's kind of, he doesn't have much competition on that West. I think he's got kind of A1 locked down. The closest rider to him was either going to be, say, Kitchen, maybe Moseman, Max Anstey.
Hmm.
None of those guys have really put too much of a fight up against Deegan in the past. So, personally, I think Deegan's got it locked down. And I'm not even a Deegan fan, but for just his competition, he's got no one really to compete with against like he had, Davies last year or so anyone else kind of pushing on him, Chance Hymus. So I think he's got it locked up for at least for A1.
Yeah, and then Justin, you were shaking your head. I mean, no Julian
Yeah.
Beaumare, no Joe Shimoda. What you got someone else as far the favorite
I mean,
for the
I
West
mean,
Coast?
I mean, Max Anstey, the blatant disrespect. This guy's been leading the last 2 years, region. When he was on the Honda, he was leading the championship when his bike blew up, and he lost the title by like 25 points or something like that. And then last year, he came out and was whooping everyone's ass until he crashed. I mean, you can't just sit here and think Anstey's not going to be ready to go. He's been racing World Supercross and kicking everyone's ass in that. Anstey's going to be ready to go, and Deegan struggles in the first race or two. So I think Deegan's not the lock for A1. I think Anstey might be the lock for A1.
Well, let's pump the brakes on WSX. All right,
Hey,
Anstey was
hey, a win's
racing
a
against
win.
Cody Schock and Shane McElrath. Like I watched the whole thing. There wasn't much competition there. And to be fair, yeah, Anstey has looked great on the East Coast. Right, we've all noticed the East Coast has been kind of on the weaker side. But I agree, he is solid. Which kind of brings me to my next question here is Kitchen is by far the biggest rival of Deegan. Obviously, we saw the drama happening, on a clip that we posted earlier this week, going back to SMX. But my question to you, and we'll start with Zach, is Kitchen the biggest threat to Deegan's title chances, or is it someone like a Max Anstey or even, a Cameron McAdoo?
I agree with Justin. I think it's more of Anstey being a bigger threat to him. They ride together, they train together. He's training with the rest of the star team. He's on a roll from World Supercross. I know it's kind of JV, but at the same time, like he was pretty dominant in that series. So coming off of that, right into A1, he could be looking to start some fireworks. And as far as Kitchen, dude, he hasn't shown me anything.
Hmm.
He was fast before he got hurt, but I mean, he's another PC curse kind of deal where you can't put your money on him because who the fuck knows what's going to happen. So
Yeah, and then James, over to you, kind of same question. I mean, he has a point with Kitchen. I mean, Kitchen has shown flashes, but it's the consistency is what he lacks. But where do you stand? Do you think it's Kitchen or Anstey or someone else that's going to be the biggest threat to Deegan?
I think they like putting this or not Anstey Kitchen Deegan rivalry on internet. It's fun on Instagram. They're talking shit, doing all this. They've been kind of doing that for what 2-3 years now.
Hmm.
But kind of like what Zach said, Kitchen really hasn't done anything that wows me, or really hasn't done shit in like 2-3 seasons. Right after he got hurt, I'm gonna say Anstey is gonna be the Star Boys, like Zach said. They're training together. They know each other's best moves. I think Anstey's gonna be Deegan's biggest competition this season.
Yeah, awesome. And then Justin, anything that you want to add to your point? Obviously, you're pretty high on Anstey, being that threat.
Yeah, I like I said, I think they kind of covered it. Just Anstey being, ready to go. He's been racing for the last 3 months, kind of being in race shape. He kind of hasn't taken a break, so he's coming in, ready to go. He hasn't just been riding for a month and a half at a boot camp. He's been getting gate drops, and I think that's huge. I know Deegan, he's all about the talk and the flash and everything like that. And it seems like at A1, it just bites him in the ass pretty much every. I mean, I think every time he started a Supercross season, he's finished like outside of the top three or something like that in the first round of the series. So yeah, Anstey's definitely gonna be the toughest competition for him. I think maybe a shocker for maybe that 3 to 4 range. Lux Turner. He was hauling ass in the Aussie Supercross once he got on the Yamaha. He's on the Bar X Yamaha this year. I think he could take a really big step. I just learned like 2 weeks ago he was racing C class at Loretta's only 5 years ago. So he's gone from C class at Loretta's on a 125 to being, I think it's his second year pro or something like that. And I think he was in the top 10, at the end of last year. So he could make another giant leap, on better equipment.
Yeah, I mean, these off-season races, take what you want from it, right? I mean, he's going to be coming in with the confidence. He has a seat time. He has the gate drop. So yeah, I think he's going to come in ready to fire, or like I said, different tracks, steeper competition. We'll see if it translates over there. All right, let's get into this next segment that I have here. Who do we think is going to make that step up this year? Maybe perform a little bit better than what we saw last year. Zach, we'll start off with you. Who do you think is going to make that step up this year, and maybe get closer to a podium? Who knows? Maybe a race win, but who do you think is going to make the biggest improvement in this 250 West?
I won't count him in for a race win, but a close podium for sure. Don't sleep on Carson Mumford. Going over to AEO Power Sports KTM. I've been watching his Instagram and stuff like that. I mean, he seems like he's gelling with the bike. He's throwing some fast.
You're falling for the Insta bangers.
Hey, yeah. Everyone loves a good
It's that
Insta
KTM.
okay? But
Yeah.
you know what, dude? No, I think he'll do pretty solid, and I'm also looking for Hunter Yoder to step up with that club.
A club, so, yeah, that'll be good, and
that'll be a much better fit for him. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and kind of jump in on that club thing. Like, I have Max Volen. I think he's going to take a pretty big step up. We saw how great he looked PC a few years back, and Chad Reed has been very hands-on for what it sounds like from Daniel Blair. So Maximus Volen, he'll be there, second year on that club bike with Chad Reed in his corner as a coach. I'd be looking for him to make a step up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him maybe land a podium, if everything goes his way. James, over to you. Who do you got? Who do you think's gonna, step up?
I'm just thinking the same. I'm gonna agree with you guys. The Club MX boys, Yoder and Voland. I think they got something going. Like you said, Max is 2 years on the bike. Chad Reed, I think he's got. They might get the ticket this year, at least a podium or two. Another one of not much of a underdog, but McAdoo. He's had a scratchy couple seasons up to this year. I think McAdoo, he's probably. He's looking for some wins. He's looking to perform well. He's got the talent. He just needs to keep it on two wheels. So I think if McAdoo can hold it together this year, he might be up running with the front.
Hey, rocking a triple-digit number. He's racing West Coast. He's usually an East Coast guy. I think he's definitely probably in his mind thinking, hey, I've got something to prove, or I'm about to lose this ride. So I could definitely see that, him maybe coming out, on fire. Justin, over to you. Who do you got? Anyone that you think is going to step up? You kind of throw out Lux Turner. You said top five. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I just think he's riding real good. I think that Bar X Yamaha is a huge upgrade from that piece of shit AEO KTM he was on last year.
Okay, hold on. Take us up. Huge upgrade, right? So Enzo Lopes, he went from Star Yamaha down to that Bar X Yamaha, and he fucking struggled. So what are you gonna do?
Enzo Lopes can't fucking hold on to the fucking bars to save his life. That Yamaha power is so fucking strong, he just can't hold on.
God.
Yeah. I mean, dude, hey, Yamaha boys are going to be fucking whooping ass on the West Coast. You got Star, you got Club, like you guys said. I think Volen on the second year on the bike, they got that handbrake, I think, definitely dialed in now. I know they had issues with it the first couple of races last year. So Volen, Yoder, like you mentioned, I think he's going to be real good. Parker Ross, I think that might be someone also to keep an eye on. He's on Bar X now. He had some really good rides on Honda. And then, I think that's pretty much where it's at.
Any other Yamaha riders that you want to throw out there? I think you named just about all of them.
Michael Mosman, I think he's been looking great. You got Brandon, our boy Brandon Spangle. I think he's been looking really good.
He's been working with Jerry Robin. We're going to be throwing hands, for a second year, and he's like, no. So
Yeah, I saw you comment that. I was laughing when I saw that.
All right, so hey, quite a few different names kind of thrown out there. So a couple of eyes, to watch. To be honest, I mean, you look at this 250 West. I mean, it, in my opinion, it is a little bit weaker than what we've seen in the past, right? Isn't Chance Hymas supposed to be out there as well on the West Coast?
Hymas is
He's
there too.
He's supposed to be West, but I haven't seen any confirmation on that yet.
I don't know if I saw him on the entry list either.
I'm looking at the list now. I don't see him.
I don't see him on there, but I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't, but I mean,
I don't really know what to expect from him either. He's never been a great Supercross guy. It's never clicked for him, but we kind of talked about it. I mean, outside of, Deegan, Anstey, and Kitchen, McAdoo is there, but McAdoo has that pass. And after that, I mean, it really kind of mows him in. He's hit and miss.
The depth really falls off after, the top four guys.
Yeah, it really does. So we'll see. I mean, we could see some guys, battling up there for those top fives that maybe we haven't seen in the past. All
And
right, this next
there's
one
no factory KTM guy West Coast, huh? Belmair's the only one
There's
at
that's
all.
contracted
there's no
factory, and he might
factory
have even
KTM
racing
250 at
East
Yeah.
all.
Coast.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could
Yep.
have
see,
pumped up one of the
no
Conan
one,
brothers or
no
something,
one
but
wants to ride that bike, dude. They just don't like it, dude.
it's
So
the
there
Air
you go,
The
Forks.
KTM
defending
right there.
the
Fits the
defending
bill.
champion went back to MXGP instead of riding that thing
Yeah.
again.
I said, fuck this piece of
Yeah,
shit, dude. They can't even fucking get a shot together.
yeah.
All right, Zach. The next one. Who do you think's going to take that step back in this 250 West? Anyone that you think maybe might not go very good?
Dude, I gotta say McAdoo, man. Like
Yeah.
I think he got so much pressure riding on this season because let's face it, man. He doesn't do good. There's no way. I mean, I've seen crazier shit, but there's
He'll
no
be
way
at
that,
Club MX soon.
yeah. That's
On
what I'm
that
saying.
Yamaha.
I think he just got so much in his head on this season that he needs to, it might be better for him to kind of drop down and regroove and
Yeah.
show some new face somewhere else. But that's my opinion. I don't want to see it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Sure. James, what about you? Who you got taking a potential step back?
Potential step back, man. As much as I hate to say it, the Washougal kid, Levi Kitchen. I just don't know
Okay.
if he's going to be able to hang on for this whole season. He hasn't had much going on for him in the past. This could be a McAdoo situation. The PC loves Kitchen, but if he's not
Mm-hmm.
doing anything, he could be. Maybe not this season, but next season he could be in danger of a ride. So, I'm feeling maybe a small step back or at least no improvement. I'm saying Kitchen.
I think that's a good point. Both of you. I think both of these PC guys are feeling some pressure. Neither one of them have lived up to, their hype, after late McAdoo crashing, and Kitchen just can't stay consistent. So, I mean, Kitchen did look a little bit better in SMX, but he's still, far from winning races. Justin, what about you? Who do you think's going to take that step back this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Jane's side. I think Kitchen. He's been kind of mediocre the last year and a half. I mean, even outdoors he was healthy, and I mean he was struggling to get a top 10 and I think some top 20s. So it's almost a make or break it this year for him. McAdoo, he showed the speed. He's won races. And with Deegan being there, is it going to get in Kitchen's head? How fucked up is Kitchen going to be trying to deal with Deegan running his mouth at these press conferences and Kitchen tries to act nonchalant about it, but it's probably sitting there somewhere in his head.
Yeah, and to me, I'm pretty sure I saw him on the entry list, but I have Ryder D. He's going
Oh
over
yeah, I
to
forgot
Husky, which
Husky.
isn't that big, but to me, the biggest thing to me is he's practicing with Daxton Bennick and who is it? Forgetting the
Casey
name.
Cochran.
Casey Cochran.
The cock.
He's practicing against guys that are not at his level. Like he's not going to have the competition as last year when he was practicing with Pierce Brown. Or 2 years ago on Pierce Brown. So that's who I have as Ryder D. I think he's going to be one that's going to kind of take that step back, just solely on just the training and who he's going to be riding with. He doesn't have Julian, on the KTM to battle with to kind of match that pace. So I feel like he might come out and be a little bit off the pace just based off of who he's riding with, throughout the week. All right, the
I don't
last thing
know
for
if
the
they're
250 West.
if they're wearing that
Go.
snow leopard gear, dude, they may win.
Yeah, maybe
That
they
that
need something.
that's
I'm
yeah, that
buying
shit's
it from
pretty,
that.
dude. That shit's pretty dope.
But
And I have a One Industries
you're gonna look
code.
like
I'll
a
send it your
fucking
way.
snow cow if I put that shit on.
Brr.
I don't give a shit, dude. Call me fat, dude. I don't care.
All right. So the last segment that I have here, if you guys have anything else, so who do you have for your potential wild card winner? Someone that, like I said, is not a Haiden Deegan that's going to go out there. Who can maybe surprise, set the tone, and let Deegan know, hey, I'm here. I'm here to battle with you. Zach, we'll start off with you. Who can shock us at A1?
Michael Musman.
Okay.
I think Michael
Is that
Musman.
just throwing it out there? You legitimately think that he's gonna
No, I legit.
where? How
Dude,
do you get Michael Mosman?
where do I get
Broken
Michael
back
Musman?
in
Because
practice or win.
I don't know. Last season, dude, he had speed. He had really good flashes of speed and stuff. I think coming in, he had a good off season. I think he's
Yeah.
riding with all the star guys. I think you're saying that someone can show up and win.
Yeah.
I think it's Michael Mosman.
That would definitely be a big surprise if Michael Mosiman got on top of the box. That's for sure.
Said
James, how
wild
about
card,
you?
dude.
Who do you got?
Surprise rider, dude. I stuck with him with my guy that I think's gonna step up and saying McAdoo. If he wants to really set the
Okay, yeah,
tone and show that he's he can ride with the big dogs, he can do it at A1. And I think he's got as a wild card, he's got potential. If the stars are aligned, maybe, but I think he can do it.
yeah. I think so as well. I mean, he has it. He's won races before, right? So nothing stopping him from doing it again. Justin, what about you? Who do you got potential wild card A1 race winner?
Yeah, I think wild card would be McAdoo. He definitely has the
Yeah.
speed, and he's normally quick in the first few rounds at least, and he can stay healthy the first few. So I think McAdoo. I think maybe Volan would be like my second pick, if he could just get a
Wow.
start and stay out
Yeah.
front.
That's a
So
fucking long shot, but
yeah, it's a
all
wild
right.
card. It
Club
ain't fucking the
MX.
favorite.
All right.
Boo-hoo!
To me, I put Max Anstey. I mean, imagine the bike, the Star Monster Star Yamaha that wins isn't Deegan, and it's his teammate Max Anstey. Like
Yeah.
we said, we talked about the momentum he has coming off WSX, and he very well can carry that into A1. And Max Anstey doesn't really seem like a guy that lets the hype of A1 get to him as say a Deegan would. So
Well,
I
he's
wouldn't be
35.
surprised if, yeah, if the veteran Max Anstey gets out there and gets that win on that top spot. Before we go into the 450s, anything else 250 that you guys want to talk about?
I will just say, you said wild card. Max Anstey, like, I have him as
No, I didn't see that as a
a
wild
race
card. Yeah.
winner. Yeah, that ain't a wild card in my opinion. But
Okay, all right,
It's
fair
like
enough,
1A,
fair enough.
1B for winner,
I
Deegan
put
and
McAdoo
Anstey.
off, just in case you guys did bitch about Anstey, so I do have McAdoo. He could come out too.
What, you didn't want to jump on the Club MX wagon too, Eric?
No,
Yeah.
anything
that's a
blue, winner.
long shot.
Anything blue.
Yeah.
Bar X.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a Honda
All
guy. He
right.
only likes red.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
unfortunately,
right,
we don't
red.
have.
Or
Yeah,
or
we'll see
or
what
unless your
Hymus
last
can do.
name
Who knows? Maybe
Deegan.
Hymus does show up. Maybe his leaving, staying in Idaho. Maybe he comes out and he shocks everyone. I mean, we
He's
know what
been
he can
riding
do
at
outdoors. We've seen it. So
Mesquite, I guess. That's what Weimer said. Weimer's been riding with Hymus at Mesquite a lot.
yeah, yeah, he has. All right. Anything else 250 West before we jump into 450s? All right. Well, jumping into the 450s, everyone knows the big news. Obviously Jet is out. It's a bummer for the sport. He's the best rider on two wheels, but you can't lie and say that this makes this championship even more interesting. And every single one of these top guys feels like they just got an even better chance at winning this. But let's start off with the defending champion, Cooper Webb. Zach Rowe, we'll start with you. What percentage do you give the Webb wagon to repeat?
I want to say 55%.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. What do you mean? Oh my god! You got
Holy shit,
fucking
55%?
yeah. You got Sexton on a new bike and just got beat by that dude last year when it was just the two of them.
Yeah.
You got Tomac on a new ride, which apparently, remember, their shocks just fucking blow up out of nowhere. So who knows? He
That's
could
a
have
fact.
a couple throwaway
Proven.
rounds. Yeah, I understand. They could have a couple throwaway rounds. Who else is there that's put in the work? That's Kenny
Hunter
always
Lawrence.
has a throwaway round or two. So who?
Oh,
else
we'll get
is
to
out
Hunter.
there?
I got something to say about Hunter Lawrence.
And
I'll bet you
if you
do.
guys have been peeping Cooper Webb's freaking YouTube, the dude looks like he is fucking ripping, and he looks
Dude, this
more
guy's
fit
instant
coming
banger
into
whore.
A1 than I've seen him in a few years.
Now, I will say, it sounds like the new Yamaha isn't great. They're not gelling as well. And if you look at Cooper Webb's past, whenever he wins a championship, the following year doesn't tend to go very well. So we'll see. But, like I said, with Jet being out, these older guys like the Eli Tomacs, the Cooper Webbs, when they see Jet is gone, they know that their chances just got significantly better. So that could be, the next motivating factor for Cooper Webb. But Zach's got a more than 50% to repay. James, what do you say? What do you got Cooper Webb as
I'm giving
chances to
him
repeat?
a straight shot 50%. I
Okay.
think, 50%, as kind of Zach touched on it, the field is, without Jet, the field is heavy, but not that heavy. He's done it before. He's on a bike that he knows with a team that he knows. Especially once he gets to those East Coast rounds, man, that's when he always takes off. He kind of floats around the first couple races, gets his shit together, and then takes off. The guy he's got to beat, I think, is Sexton. And if he can hold it together and keep it on two with all the bike changes and team changes and everything that else went on in the 450 class, I think I think Webb's got a pretty good shot at getting it done.
Okay. And then Justin, over to you. What percentage you give Webb at getting this repeat?
Like 20, 25.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
just think.
what supports that?
Oh man, I can't wait to see
Uh,
your.
I mean, I just think, like you said, Webb, he normally drops off a year after his title wins. I think these new bikes, I think Sexton, I think it's going to gel really well for him. And with Hunter, or with Jet not being there, it's going to ease a little pressure off of him. I think Tomac's going to stay healthy this year. He may not be, balls to the walls fast. And then I think Hunter's going to be a real wild card this year. I think he has a great chance at coming out and shocking a lot of people. It's his third year in Supercross, and I mean he's been riding really well the last. I mean he showed his brother up in some of the outdoor rounds, MX the Nations. He balled out, so
Well,
I
did
think
you
like
say
20-25%.
outdoors? Are we talking about Supercross?
Hey, it translates momentum.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put Cooper Webb, 20%. The thing that I think is different this year than last year is I think Cooper Webb needs to get off to a fast start. I think Sexton, Eli Tomac are going to be chomping at the bit. They're going to start winning races early because there's not going to be a jet to kind of make that points gap a little bit shorter. So I think Webb's got to get a win within maybe these first 4 rounds and really set the tone. I think if we get round 6, 7, or get to the East Coast and Webb is sitting, 20, 30 points back with Chase Sexton, Hunter, and Eli Tomac still healthy, I think he might be a little bit too far behind. So I think the one thing, if I am going to have confidence that Webb's going to get out of the gate good, is I think he has to start off the season with that gate on fire, at least podium A1, to show that he's in there and ready to go. So okay, very interesting.
I think Webb needs 2 more guys to get hurt in order for that chance to go to like 50%.
Hey, and we know it's gonna happen, right? We see it
Could
time and
happen.
time again. It's just a matter of who. Well, I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna go right into this Hunter Lawrence. To me, where is this Hunter hype coming from? This guy has 3 podiums in 450 Supercross. I think everyone gets lost in how he did outdoors, which it's outdoors. And sure, SMX, but SMX, once again, it doesn't have the whoop section. They're hybrid tracks, so they're almost like outdoors. And if you watch Paris Supercross, it didn't look good at all. Zach, we'll start with you. I don't get this Hunter hype in Supercross. He hasn't shown anything in Supercross that he hasn't won a race and 3 podiums. I just don't see the hype of now everyone thinks that he's just some title contender against Sexton, Tomac, and Webb.
No, I 100% agree with that. I don't get it because he's got 1 250 Supercross championship, no wins 450 Supercross. I don't see where it's coming from that he's going to be a front runner all season long.
He missed the main event at A1 like 2 years ago, and then last year he doesn't even finish it. Like that's what I was like, where is this hype coming from, James?
I don't get it either, man.
I'm not really sure where the hype is coming from. Maybe just Honda people are just looking for someone to grasp onto since Jet's out, holding on to some hope. Like you guys have pointed out the facts. Hunter really hasn't done shit, especially in 450 Supercross. I don't think he's gonna be up front and battling with the guy. Maybe a few races if he's really feeling it. But I don't know, man. I'm not feeling Hunter for Supercross. I'm not believing the hype.
All right, and then Justin, over you threw out Hunter's name out there. Where are you at with this Hunter hype heading into Supercross?
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's been riding really well lately. Paris Supercross, I mean, both him and Jet were on pretty stock bikes. I mean, they didn't really have much that they did to the bikes. I think they had a set of suspension and like a flywheel and stuff on it. So I'm not really taking too much from that. I don't know. I just think Hunter has been riding really well. So, just kind of throwing it out there. See how he does. I
How
mean,
many
third
how
year,
many
maybe it
wins does
finally
Hunter
clicks for
get
him.
this year?
I
How
think
many
one.
wins?
One.
Okay, so he gets his first win. Okay, like I said, I could see him getting a win. I could see it.
I'd go with one. I could go with one. I'd agree with that.
Justin, how many rounds did he race last year in Supercross?
No, like probably 5.
He got out
I think he
at
got hurt. I think he
Tampa
got
was
hurt
the
after
last
at
one.
Glendale or Tampa.
Yeah,
We're
no,
well
Tampa.
over a year with him not even having Supercross gate drops. So
Same with
Yeah.
Eli Tomac. Same with Jet Lawrence. And
dude,
Jet's not even
Well,
showed
they
up
have a little
again.
bit
So
longer. They have a little bit longer,
and, and
track record in
their
Supercross.
previous
But
champion
I mean,
too.
yeah,
hey,
they have
but you're just throwing a
multi
year not on a
wins.
Yeah.
bike. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
hey,
he
we'll
left
see.
in
I mean, they've been
Glendale.
riding for sure, but yeah, I mean, we'll see it. But I've seen it in the comments. Some things I posted. Everyone's got Hunter to win this title. I'm just like, I don't know what the hell you guys are smoking, but send it this way.
Here's my other point with that is
It's
that
that dad weed.
now he doesn't
Yeah,
have Jet to ride with either.
yeah, that's very true.
So that's a massive hit because I think he gets most of his speed from Jet. So riding with
That
Jet.
and not just
So
game plan. I mean, Jet has probably some of the best racecraft. How to learn these tracks. I mean, they talk to each other there, and yeah, that's another factor that he's not going to have there, with him. So, I mean, we'll see. Do I see, like we talked about, Hunter, winning a race? Sure. I mean, he's due. I mean, I think he's done 19 Supercross races, something along those lines. So, I mean, you would think that he's going to have, his first race, but I think they were talking about there's only been 3 champions that have ever won their first Supercross 450 race and won the title, and that's Jet, Dungy, and McElrath. And I don't have Hunter sitting in the ranks of those guys. All right.
I mean, I
The
don't
next
think
one we
McElrath
talked about
sits in the
this.
ranks of those guys either.
The next, no, McGrath, not McElrath.
Oh, that's what you said. It sounded like you said McElrath.
No,
No, you said-
McGrath, Dungy, and Jet were
Oh,
the 3.
sounds like you
McElrath
said
doesn't have a
McElrath, dude. I
450
was like,
title.
what the fuck? Yeah, I was like,
I knew
what?
we were going with that.
I was like 250. I'm like, what?
All right, so we kind of talked about Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac. They both had 2 big offseason moves. Sexton going from KTM to Kawasaki, and then Eli Tomac going from Yamaha to KTM. Zach, we'll start with you. Fanboy bias aside, who do you think's going to have the best move on this new ride as we look at the end of this season?
to me, man, dude, it's so hard because I just have no more faith in Sexton. And then with Tomac, I hear comments that he's made. The motor's too much for him. They're working on a slightly smaller package, this and that. I don't know if I have faith in that shock, or the KTM team. I know they can do it. They've done it multiple times in the past, but I don't really know. So that's a toss up, man. I can go either way on that.
Where
Or
did
that
you hear
freaking
that they're
clutch that they
making
put
less
together on that
motor?
bike.
The mystical cable clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
I thought they were building more power because Jay Dungy said they built the most powerful engine that KTM's ever had for Tomac.
And on Gypsy Tales, Tomac said that a 450 is not enough engine for
I know.
him. So
Yeah.
what's the problem?
I saw a clip saying that they were working on a slightly slower package.
Yeah, pull it
And
up. We want the receipts on
That's
that
'cause
one.
it's
we've seen
old.
stuff circulate. There's no more scoop tire, which I think is a good thing. I think the scoop hurt them in a few rounds last year.
Do you
So
think it's
getting back
because
to a
of the
regular tire, I think
chassis?
it's the right move.
Do you think it's because
It
that
could be.
chassis?
I mean,
Because
who
how
knows? Could be a lot of things.
Because Mason was talking about it when we talked to him in like October on how just a different chassis, on how he could be just, he feels more planted to get more traction with that chassis change.
Yeah, and I mean, we keep bringing up WSX, but I mean, when those tracks kind of got rougher and beat up, he definitely didn't look as good. Didn't have that traction. So surprise. I mean, he's Mr. Scoop, and him kind of bailing on it. I think there's definitely some underlining in that.
I think that
James,
Australia
over to
round
you.
finally made it.
Yeah. James, over to you. Who do you think between Sexton and Tomac? Who do you think's gonna, have the better move come the end of the year?
Dude, I think Tomac made a great, or not Tomac, right? Sorry, Sexton. I think Sexton got the better deal on that
Mhm.
tenfold. He's going back to a Japanese bike, off the KTM, off Air Forks. It's those Cowies are long and they're heavy, and
Mhm.
Sexton's a tall, goofy bastard. That guy needs a bigger bike, and maybe that little more weight will keep him a little more grounded. I think Sexton is going to shred that Cowie. And then in terms of Eli, people we haven't seen much good come out of people switching to KTM from Jap bikes or whatever brand they're coming off of. Sexton's a great example. Shocks blowing up. WP4 air forks from KYB on the plush for, it's a big change for Tomac and going, well, they gave him the cable clutch, but I don't know. I don't think Tomac's gonna do as well on the KTM as he did on the Yamaha.
What do you mean you haven't seen people do as good when Cooper Webb
I
went
know. I was
from
about to say
over
Sexton,
to KTM and won a championship?
yeah,
Sexton went
That's
Sexton,
over
true.
and won
Webb,
a championship.
Dungy, all three of those
Sexton, what
guys.
did Sexton do?
He
I
won a
don't know.
title.
Sexton, but all they did was complain about it. He won a title, but
He
Yeah.
But he
complains
all
was
he
about
did was
also
talk
he
shit
was
everything. He
about the
faster
complains
bike.
than
about his fucking
faster than
coffee in the
Steele.
morning.
Hey, don't
That's
forget
fair.
about but the biggest thing, like you touched
AP
up on it,
won on
right?
it.
Tomac has only ridden an aluminum frame. This is the first time he's ever gonna ride that steel frame bike, and that is a huge
Sexton was the
change.
same way. He was absolutely ripping when he went on it. I don't think it's the frame. I don't think the frame is as big of a deal for these guys as a lot of people bring up. You're telling me that the
Could be.
factory guys can't stiffen those steel frames up?
Dude, it's
To
a completely
me,
different material. Flex is way different.
It doesn't matter. You can
it
stiffen. They can stiffen it up. This is factory KTM, dude. They ain't fucking
Yeah, but there's only so much you could do to stiffen them up before you. I mean,
understood. But look at Sexton went from nothing but aluminum frames over to that steel frame, and he was flying.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there's always still the shock issue with KTM, right? That was the issue with Sexton. He said the shock always ended up fading, and by the end of the races, he wasn't sure what he was going to do. We saw Tom Vial quit on second motos because the shock was fading. There was a video going around of Jorge Prado like 2 weeks on the KTM with his rear shock completely blown out as well. So, I mean, KTM definitely has their problems over there. For sure. But Justin, over to you. Who do you got? I know you're a big Tomac guy, so I'm sure that's where you're gonna lead, but who do you think's gonna get the better end of this move?
yeah, fuck that KTM, that Australian brand. I'm going with the Jap guy. I think just for Sexton, I think it's just going to be almost like a feel at home. The Cowie's known as a pretty good bike in Supercross. Just the
Hmm.
way it handles and everything. So I think it's going to be a really good bike for Sexton. I mean, I think who's going to be fastest, Sexton overall. It's just going to be if he's going to be able to keep it on two wheels. And Tomac, I mean, I think it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see how he does. Like you guys mentioned, that cable clutch. It's going to be interesting to see if that can hold up because he burns through those
Hmm.
like crazy. And I think he burned through one at World Supercross. So it'd be interesting. I think it's going to be a great matchup between the two. But I think Sexton takes the edge on this just for going back home to that chassis and a Jap bike.
Yeah, I mean, if Tomac, which I don't know if he had issues at World Supercross, but if he had issues there, he could definitely have issues in AMA Supercross. I mean, the race is a lot longer, tracks are a lot rougher too. And I mean, we saw it with Max Volan and his handbrake last year. When you start throwing weird shit at these bikes that they're not necessarily, built for right out of the box, sometimes things can go wrong. So it is definitely going to play a factor. And I'm gonna lean Sexton as well. Going back to the aluminum frame, the Kawasaki is, one of the bigger bikes. He's a big dude, so I think it's gonna have more stability for him. I gotta think that Sexton's going to mature and stop making these bonehead mistakes that we saw in Texas, where he had the win wrapped up and then he goes down or he's hitting the gate. I gotta think that this guy eventually is going to get it cleaned up between his ears and kind of go on this, go on a run here. So I would lean Sexton. Of course, you can't ignore the fact that Eli's getting another year older, coming off, another injury as well. So, a brand new bike manufacturer. So it's gonna be interesting to kind of see. But both of them, huge changes heading into the 2026 season. But of course, Jets out. So it's definitely gonna be a little bit easier for them. All right. Let's go into the riders that we think are going to step up and rise to the occasion in 2026. Zach, we'll start with you. Who do you got making that leap in the 450 class?
I think it's going to be. I think we're going to see a lot more consistency and a lot more wins out of Cooper Webb.
Okay. What's a
Yeah,
lot more wins? Put a number on it.
6 wins, and not all of them going
Okay.
to be bunched up in the end. I think he's going to come out swinging a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe get a win, couple podiums early, and then kind of fight the fight.
How early do you think he gets his first win?
Mm,
You think he gets it by Glendale?
no, I'd say maybe like 4 rounds, 5 rounds.
Okay, which I'd say that's kind of what he needs to do to get this tie. I
Yeah.
think he's got to start off fast. So
Yep.
okay, I like it. That hey, seeing a 5C Cooper
So
Webb coming out with some speed right out of the gate would definitely be a good change of pace.
so Glendale is round 5. So by Glendale needs a win.
Okay, sorry. My dude, I don't fucking remember the damn
Yeah, damn
freaking.
Zach, come on,
Yeah,
memorize that
come on, get it,
schedule.
fucking
Yeah.
KTM riders.
As
Dude.
Justin's looking at his iPad saying
Yeah.
that, oh, well, Glendale
No,
5.
no, you can't. No.
Yeah, you're wrong, man. You're wrong.
uh, James, over to you. Who do you think is going to make that step up in the 450? Because you think every year, what there's 6, 7 winners. Jet's already out. Someone's gonna take his place. So yeah, who's gonna step up?
I think someone that's going to make a big step. I'm feeling RJ Hampshire, man. He's kind of been out of the
Ooh,
press. He's kind of no one's, he's not, not on a big change. Second year, he still was Husky. Second year, he didn't necessarily do bad.
yeah.
On the once he jumped to the 450, I think RJ, he's always been notoriously pretty decent. He's got a championship on 250s in Supercross. I think RJ's going to step it up and be, a podium guy this year.
I was gonna ask podium for RJ, huh? I would
I'm,
say a
I'm,
top 5. I think is probably gonna be a ceiling in this field. Maybe if it gets depleted, but a podium would be really impressive for RJ in
I'm,
my
I'm
book.
thinking, I'm thinking RJ on the podium at least once this season.
I can
All
see that.
right,
I can
I
see
like
RJ
it.
getting a podium for sure this year.
All right, Justin, over to you. Who do you got stepping up this year?
I was gonna say RJ. I think just the way RJ shocked everyone, the way he can ride the 450, I don't think anyone was really ready for that. Did he get a podium last year at Daytona?
I don't think
Or
so. I'd have to look
I
into
think he won a
notes.
heat race.
Was
but
that he won
That's
a heat race 2 years ago when they put him on the
okay,
450 for like
okay,
1 week.
maybe
Yeah,
that's what it was. Okay, I thought he raced it last year, but I mean, I just think RJ is gonna step up. I think it's gonna be real good for him. I mean, he shocked everyone in outdoors. I didn't think he'd be that good in outdoors on the 450 and stay consistent. I know he was hurt at MX Nation, so I think RJ. I think another one is J Coop. I think if he can get those whoops figured out,
mm.
he can maintain and stay up there and be in a podium fight. And get a couple podiums.
Kind of the same thing that we're talking with the PC boys. I think Jay Coops kind of needs to prove it here. I
I mean,
think he's
he's
got to
fast.
get
He
some
just can't. He
podiums.
can't get through the whoops. That's his only problem is the
Yeah,
whoops. He needs to eat
yeah.
whoops,
Look, if
sleep whoops,
Carson
fuck whoops.
if Carson Brown can shred a set of whoops on a super mini, then Jay Coop needs to start shredding some fucking whoops on that factory bike. All right. But yeah, that's interesting. But just and if you have your iPad, look up. See, I'm curious to see what RJ's best finish was in
RJ.
Supercross.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just on J
me,
Coop.
my
J Coop's got a couple.
yeah. With me, which I'm surprised that none of you guys threw this out there. I got Mookie. He looked unreal at Paris. I think he's going to get another race win, if not two. I think he's going to be consistent. I mean, his starts look great in Paris. He's going to have the confidence heading into it, but I think we might see that step up from Malcolm Stewart. I think he's going to be on the podium a
You think
few
he's
few
gonna
more
keep it
times.
on 2 wheels for every race?
We'll see. I hope so. We'll kind of see, how it shapes up. I mean, he's getting a little bit older, but I mean, I just, we want to talk about how great Anstey looked at off season. I mean, he beat Jet and he beat Hunter straight up, and he whooped Jet's ass multiple times over there and got great starts.
Mm.
And we all know how important starts are. And if he can carry that over, shoot, I don't see why not. Got his first race win last year, looked really impressive. And shoot, I don't see why not. I can definitely see him making that leap. Justin, what'd you find over there?
Uh, it looks like he's only raced the one, and he finished 8th behind Roxon, J Coop, Anderson, Barsha, Sexton, Webb, Tomac, and that was in 2023.
So RJ hasn't even raced the 450 in Supercross full time.
Not yet. Not well. No, I knew not full time, but I figured he jumped in a couple. I
No.
thought he raced Daytona last year
Yeah.
on a 450.
So basically, his rookie year, RJ heading into Supercross. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean that's going to be interesting to see. How he stacks up in there. All right, let's get into the guys that we think are going to step back. I think you guys already know who I'm going to go with, but
Oh,
Zach,
Team
how about you?
Fry
Who do you
right
think we're going to
away.
see? Who do you think? Who do you think is going to take the step back in this 450 class?
Ah, man. I honestly, I think it'll be. I think maybe not take a step back. Well, yeah, going over to Ducati, I think it's gonna be Barsha.
Mhm.
I think he's on his way out. I don't know how him and Dylan Francis are gonna do over there. So I think the combination of that plus he's already hasn't been that great in the last couple, season or two. So
Yeah.
I just think he's gonna drop off the pace and just kind of use his name for the last year or two and roll out.
Where do you think he's gonna be finishing on average?
I
10th.
Battling
nine,
for top tens,
yeah,
12th,
I think
outside top 10?
anywhere from 9th to 12th.
Okay.
Not
Yeah. I mean,
unrealistic.
I can
I
see
don't
the same
think
thing.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see the same thing there with that Ducati. They haven't
Mhm.
ridden in Supercross, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that bike develops over there. James, what about you? Who do you got taking a step back?
Similar logic to Zach. I'm thinking Jason Anderson. Although he did good in WSX, switching to that Suzuki, he hasn't really done much in AMA in quite a few years. I think he's kind of sunsetting on his way out, grabbing a ride where he can, and he's going to be battling with Barsha 10 to 12.
My guy. See, I knew I brought him on for a good reason. Yeah,
The reason
absolutely. I think
why
He
Anderson.
just
you guys
won a
are
title.
yeah, you guys were just
He just won a
kissing on the team
title.
He
pride
was
this
he was
He's
weekend.
battling
battling
cross
fucking
title
Joey
in France.
Savacci.
Yeah. Where do you
Battling
play
Joey
him at?
Savacci. And you know what? They're going to be battling in Supercross 2 for 10th and 12th place as well next to fucking Barsha.
Hey, you know what's funny though is
So,
I thought Joey
Hey,
had that
those
wrapped up,
Ducatis
and
are sick though.
that's the second championship he's fucking just lost in the win in the last round. So
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Savachi.
very
Yeah,
true. But
you can
yeah,
guarantee
yeah,
Savachi losing a title in the last round. That's like a minus 1,000.
good race though. Good race.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Great race. But yeah, James, I'm with you. I got Anderson as well, taking a step back. I think he's kind of already checked out on his career and going on to Suzuki. I'm taking the over under of at least 2 DNFs. If he has to kickstart that fucking bike to get going, he ain't gonna do it. He's fucking out on that
Yeah,
shit, dude.
he's gonna have another personal issue and
He's
disappear
gonna
for a
have
couple
he's gonna have a
weeks.
fucking torn Achilles from trying to kick the fucking bike over. It's gonna fucking
Yeah,
get
no,
back on him, dude.
Yeah, Team
not fucking
Fried,
him.
dude. He's not
Yeah.
built for kicking bikes over.
No. Justin, all right. What about you? Who do you got? Taking that step back in 2026.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think Barsha too as well. I don't think that Ducati's quite ready yet. I mean, I know Cole Seely's been, testing it, but I mean, it's a lot for a new brand to come in. It's just going to be tough, to get in there with all these other brands established. And are you sure there's going to be a couple DNFs just because of bike issues? So I'm going to go with Barsha.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. New bike over there. I don't think it's going to be, a great move over there for him. So we'll see.
I
One
mean,
name that I'm
Fernandez said it's
surprised
the
hasn't been.
best it's the best bike in two wheels or whatever, or the best chassis. I mean, he's hyping it up for
Yeah,
bike
that's
sales at
true.
least.
Yeah, no, that's very true. One name that we really haven't talked about before we get into our wild card picks for A1 is, Jorge Prado. He's ugly. It was bad in Kawasaki, going back onto the KTM. Another guy that's got something to prove, money where, put money where his mouth is, but it's still Supercross. Zach, we'll start off with you. Where do you see Prado finishing back on this KTM? Does he
He
finish
does.
all 17 rounds?
I don't think he does any better than he did on that Kawasaki, man. Watching
Okay.
him ride that Cowie and then watching Sexton get over there and ride that Cowie, it's fucking light years different. So I just don't think he has the speed whatsoever.
Yeah.
You could say, oh yeah, I'm back on KTM and I'm more comfy here, but one, you're a fucking quitter, and two, I just don't think you have the speed, especially in Supercross, to hang with these boys. So I see him top 15.
Does he do better than Marchbanks?
No, I don't think so. Personally,
Okay.
I don't think so at all.
Interesting. Okay. James, over to you. See you're shaking your head. Not a believer in Prado, huh?
No, man. Prado was going to be my step back contender, but I don't really think he's taking a step back or forward. I think he's going to stay exactly the same. I think he's going to stay flat. He's not going to do shit. I don't think it's the bike problem with him. I think it's a him problem. He doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have what it
He's a
takes to last a
fucking
Supercross.
pussy.
Um, Yeah, exactly. As Zach said, we see Sexton absolutely fucking ripping that Cowie that Prado had nothing good to say, and even in his mechanics at the end of the season, were shit talking him in comments on Instagram, saying
Mhm.
all he did was complain and they did everything for him. It's not a bike thing. It's a Prado thing. He sucks. He might miss a main.
Yeah, he needs to go back to
Hey, yeah, you
MXGP.
never know. He's definitely got some damage control as far as the American fans, that's for sure. I don't think anyone's rooting for him, unless they're delusional, to be quite honest. But yeah, I'm with you. Same question. Do you think by looking at the end of the year, does he do better than Marchbanks?
No, I think Marchbanks is going to beat him by a handful of points positions.
Where do you put
Okay.
Marchbank?
And where do I put Marchbanks? Oh fuck,
Top
like
15.
15, and I'm putting Prado at 18.
Yeah, Prado's going to be battling the LCQ.
Dang. Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay. And then Justin, over to you. Expectations for Prado, and then same question. Do you think he outperforms Marchbanks?
Yeah, I don't think he does outperform Marchbanks. I think there's absolutely zero expectations. I'd be surprised if he even finishes the series. He's either going to come up with some fake injury or something just to get out of it because he's a known quitter. He's going to blame the bike. He still hasn't taken any responsibility for anything that happened at Cowie. It was only the bike and only the bike's fault. And like Zach said,
Hmm.
Sexton jumped on it and looked fast as shit right away. So I just think it's Prado. I think he needs to pack his fucking bags and go back to Europe and go join his boy Tom Vial, and they can go enjoy some French dinner or whatever and fucking kiss and have fun out there.
Man, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of Sexton hauling ass on the Kawasaki coming out of you boys. So very interesting.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong,
Um,
dude. The Insta bangers
Hey,
are out there. You just gotta
hey,
watch
if he
them.
was on,
Dude, did you
if he
not
was on,
see his video in Hawaii?
yeah,
That thing was
yeah,
sick.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude, that's gonna be one of the dopest videos. The like announcement videos. That was
That's what I'm
sick.
saying, dude.
Hey,
yeah.
if he was on a
And this
High
Honda,
to
he'd be
me
flying.
giving
that
his blowjob.
Well, to me, that speaks to the rep that Kawasaki has. How they don't think outside the box. They don't let these guys try different things. They're gonna let Sexton do whatever the hell he wants to that bike to get some wins. They haven't won in quite a while. So I think seeing that Hawaii thing really shows that Kawasaki's kind of pushing their chips on the table and say, hey, it's all or nothing. Whatever this guy wants, we're gonna ride with it. So. Yeah, but I agree with you guys on Prado. I have a hard time believing that he's going to finish the whole season. The only thing that I would maybe have him a notch above Marchbanks is his starts. Marchbanks is notorious for
Mm.
being a terrible starter. Hopefully, they're better on on a 450. But this isn't the first time Marchbanks has ridden a 450, so that's what I'm going to be keeping my eye on.
Hey,
Is I want to see
we
how these starts on
also
Marchbanks are going to look.
we also watched Prado go from a hole shot to fucking 15th place in outdoors, which he is prominently an
Sure.
outdoor rider. So
Yeah.
Supercross, I give him zero credit for starts or anything. He can fucking blow.
We
Okay.
watched we watched
All
Prado
right.
try
Well.
not to qualify for a fucking national and didn't know about the
Yeah.
exemption rule, and then try not to race the or tried to race the LCQ, so he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I don't know. He
No. I
might be
mean.
running up there with Jason Anderson, and JA's just gonna put him over to the fucking berm, send him back to Europe, dude.
Yeah, no, very true. All right, so very strong feelings with Prado. Not a lot of faith out of this group. All right, well, let's get into our A1 wild card winners. Who's going to be the Barsha of 2026? That's going to shock everyone and potentially put it on the box and shock everyone. Zach, we'll start off with you.
You guys are gonna think I'm like backtracking here, but I think Chase Sexton's gonna win A1.
Okay.
Was that a
Hey, he
wild
won
card?
last year, right? He
Huh?
won last year.
Did you ask for a wild card or who?
Yeah,
who's
wild
the,
card.
Oh,
Yeah,
um, dude, I don't know. Mookie will be my wild card.
Okay.
that's a
That's
good
who I
one.
have. I have Mookie down. I think
Yeah.
he could potentially, ride this ride this momentum. You guys were talking shit. I said 2 wins. If he goes out there and wins A1, he's gonna win another one. He's bound to.
He's
Yeah,
not
hey,
fucking winning
hey,
that
Dude,
one.
this is wild card.
CJ would
This is
jump in the
like,
chat real quick.
but this is wild card. This is like
Right.
the stars have to absolutely align for this dude to fucking do it.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, he has
we're
to
talking
get a whole
2005
shot
mud
and
race.
lead and go. Which we thought there's going to be a mud race. But it looks like the weather's clearing out, so that's good. James, how about you? Who do you got as far as your wild card for A1 450?
I'm not sure how much of a wild card it is, but I'm going for Ken Roxon.
Okay. Hey,
I like
I
I
would
like how
put him in that wild card
I'd say
group.
at this point of his career, he's kind of more of a wild, especially for A1. Yeah, I'm saying, he looked all right in the few races he did run in
Yeah.
WSX, and he's got fucking JA playing defense for him on the line, so he's got knock a couple guys down, and I think if he gets a good start in a good league, Roxon can hang with the best of them, as we've seen in years past. Daytona last year, when he can get when he's on it. So I'm going Ken Roxon for the wild card win.
Yeah, we know Ken Roxon is always stronger at the beginning of the season. He tapers off, towards the end. So yeah, it would not surprise me if Roxon goes out there and snags that win. Justin, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with James on that. I wasn't really sure too much of a wild card you guys would classify him, but I think Kenny always shows up ready to go. I think there's just something about these first few rounds that he just comes out and shocks everyone on how fast and consistent he is. So I'm gonna go Kenny for a wild card.
All right, I like
Banana
it. And then
power.
I'm with I got Mookie down there. Malcolm, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and wins, carries that momentum and confidence from Paris. Well, all right. Kind of let's get into our A1 picks before we get into our title picks for the whole season. So Zach, we'll start out with you. Who do you got? I think you kind of gave it away a little bit. Who do you think's going to walk away with this A1 victory?
450, I think Chase Sexton is going to come out and win it.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Yeah.
James, who
I
you
think
got?
I'm going Chase Sexton as well. I don't really think I need to elaborate. We've talked enough about how fast he is in the Cowie. I'm going Chase Sexton.
Yeah. All right. Justin, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Sexton too as well. I think Cowie's gonna get their first win since Jason Anderson.
Wow, it's a clean sweep across the board. I got Chase Sexton as well. I think he's going to come out something to prove. I think he looks good on the Kawasaki test track or not. The guy's got speed. He's always got speed. He doesn't have jet to worry about. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder coming in. I think he feels that he lost that title last year, and he's definitely going to come in. Obviously, SMX hasn't gone great either, so I'm with you guys. I think Sexton's going to win A1 and kind of set the tone for this season. All right. Well, that was easy. Let's get into our title picks. Who's going to win the whole thing come the end of the year? Zach, we'll start off with you.
talking 450 or 250 first.
Um, you could go 250, but I think we all agree that it's going to be Deegan in the
Deegan.
250s.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
450, I've got to go with Cooper Webb. I have him as my favorite at 55%. I think he's going to come out, get a couple jabs early in the season, and then
Okay.
fight for that title all the way to the end. I think this is the best he's looked coming into A1 in a while, so he's going to be my guy.
All right.
What's
Hey,
your
I
what's your
can't argue with
percentage
that.
of
I've harped
Tomac winning?
on.
Like 30.
Dang, so
So
that means you got Chase Sexton
Sexton's got like
less than
10%,
Tomac.
15%.
Yeah. No,
I don't think he knows
Yeah,
what a pie
all right.
chart looks like.
Yeah. All right. Hey,
Wow.
What do you
that's
mean?
fair enough. Hey, that's fair enough. But the way
Yeah.
Sexton's been going, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to have total comp. He's got the speed, but he's got to get figured out in between his ears. But hey, you know what? I think we've all kind of put Cooper Webb, kind of down in the rankings, especially last year, and he ends up getting the job done one way or another without Jet. It's definitely a high possibility that he repeats. James, what about you? Who do you got for this title?
I'm doubling down. A1 winner, title winner, Chase Sexton. He's had his problems in the years past with pretty much every team he's been on, tuck in the front, his own mind games, whatever he's doing. I'm hoping that he's kind of, strayed away from that. He was having, demons with that KTM, couldn't get it going. Had nothing good to say about it. Haven't heard anything bad about the Cowie. It looks like he's just ripping it. I think he's going to learn from his mistakes and he's going to get it done this year.
Do you think he wraps it up early?
Yes.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Justin, who you got for your title pick?
I hate to say it, but I gotta say Chase Sexton. I just think with Jet being out, I
Wow.
think it's
Dude,
Sexton's title to
What
Jet,
lose.
happened to the Tomac
right?
train, dude? He jumps off Blue Crew
He
and all of a
left. He
sudden he's
left.
just
Yeah.
dog shit or
Yeah.
what?
He's a
It's
fucking
those
piece of
goddamn
shit.
KTMs changes your
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah. Hey, no,
No,
I think
no
Tomac.
faith in your boy Webb.
I mean, I love
He's still
Webb,
in Blue
but
Crew.
I mean, history says otherwise. And I was listening today. Michael Lindsay said that Webb's struggling to find a good setup on this new bike. So doesn't make me very confident. I mean, I'll still support him when he does win. I'll be chanting Blue Crew, but I just think as a season whole, I think this is Sexton's title. I think there's also maybe a little bit of pressure to prove how if he wins, to prove that Prado is just a fucking piece of shit and running his mouth. So I think Sexton's going to win the title. And then Webb's going to finish second, and then Tomac's going to be like fifth overall just because he's going to have DNS because the bike breaks or something.
Yeah, all right, I like it. Now, I just want everyone to close your eyes. Just picture a number 4 on a green bike. That's what we're going to have flashbacks of. I think Sexton's going to win this title as well. I think he's going to kind of run away with it. Give me 9 wins for the number 4 this year. I think he's going to kind of wax everyone and kind of run away with it. And he might not even show up to Salt Lake. He might go to Hawaii while Salt Lake's going on. But
He's going surfing.
I think Sexton's going to come in. He's got something to prove. Doesn't have to worry about Jet. He knows that he's going to be the guy. I think he's going to learn from his past mistakes, get a little bit more mature as well. And I think he's going to, ride this thing off into the sunset and get an early start on outdoors. But
Dude,
all right, anything else?
Jet come
A1.
back at all? Does Jet come back at all in the Supercross season? Because they said it's only like 3 months off the bike.
I don't think so.
That would put it March
doubt-
or
Well, yeah, 3
February.
months off the bike, and
He's
then
gonna hold out till outdoor.
yeah,
Outdoors, that's
he
what I was
wants to be
thinking,
ready
too.
for Deegan. Yeah, he wants to be
Yeah,
ready for the
that's gonna
outdoors
be
with
interesting.
Deegan and all that
Does
shit.
I don't even think Deegan's his biggest fucking threat going up in even in outdoors.
Oh, I don't think so. But Deegan's
I
gonna be
don't know.
running his
Deegan's
mouth
going to
trying to
be
make it
right
a
up there
fight.
with him. Yeah, he's
I
going
don't
to be
think so.
right up there with him, I think.
I
Well,
don't
if
think
he could,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's got to be Sexton as well. But I think that's just where Jet's at. I think Jet's going to just go straight into prep for outdoors and just focus on that title. No chance of winning a title in Supercross. He doesn't give a shit about the race wins at this point. So I don't think we see him line up for Supercross if there's no title to gain from it. Who knows? But
How many people?
I
How
just don't
many
see it
people win a
happening.
race this year?
All right, let's go. So we got
You got
Sexton,
4.
Webb, Tomac.
Kenny.
I think we all agreed Hunter will get one. Kenny will probably
think
get
so.
one. You don't think Kenny gets one?
I don't think so. I think he got.
Okay.
No, I don't think Hunter gets one.
I think
You don't think Hunter
gets
gets one? Wow. Okay.
I think
Hunter
Hunter gets it.
one.
I
think
could see
Hunter
him
will get
winning
one.
at least. Like Daytona would
I
be a
think so,
Hunter
too.
track. I think there's just going to be one race where either a couple of top guys crash in the first corner, and Hunter gets
Yeah.
one. He's got to get at least one.
You got to think either AP or Malcolm will get one.
JQ,
Maybe both get one. No. Fuck
you don't think
no.
JQ wins one?
You think Hunter gets
I
a
don't
win
think
over
so.
He'll
JQ
win qualifying.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
in Supercross?
100% I have Hunter over J. Coop getting a win.
Damn, dude.
J.
I
Coop's gonna have to
disagree with
come
that.
out and ride out of his mind to get a win. He's too conservative.
JQ had 4
Like we
podiums
talked
last
about
year.
the jump and the whoops. Yeah, 4
Dude.
podiums, and he was 30 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, and
So was
Hunter missed
everyone
the
else.
fucking lane at A1. So what's up?
He did. But I still think Hunter just has a higher ceiling than J. Coop does.
Ugh.
Hunter's gonna blitz those whoops, and J.
I'm
Coop's
telling you,
not.
without Jet riding with him week in, week out, I don't see him stepping up like you guys think.
Okay. So do we think AP is getting a win? I don't think so. I
No.
think his health maybe
Not
put
even
him back a
fucking
little
close.
bit. Okay. I
And
think
that ship has sailed.
Malcolm possibly get a win.
Wild card, baby.
Yeah, that's a
I
wild
can see
card
a win
win
out of
right
Mookie.
there.
He pulls off some crazy ass wins sometimes.
So what? So that gets
Wins,
us to 5 basically.
Rides, sorry, rides, not wins.
Yeah.
So I think that gets us to 5 total that we think is gonna wrap up the win, which is crazy. Usually there ends up being more. Who knows? Maybe we get a mutter AP, pulls it out, but
Oh,
who
we got
knows? Like I
Seattle.
said, maybe J. Coop does rise to the occasion.
It's Seattle Snowcross, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah, there you go. All right, boys. Anything else, A1, before we wrap it up?
Are you going? You gonna fly in?
No, I wish. That'd be sick. I'll be at
That'd be
James's
sick.
house. Be at James's house watching it.
Yeah.
I'll be at the bowling alley with my daughter. So
Yeah, I might be on
Yeah.
call, so.
Tell them to throw it up on the big screen out there.
Yeah.
Hey, you just need the
Bluetooth.
iPad.
Well,
Yeah,
all
you can
right.
take it anywhere.
I got one.
There you go. Well, all right. Well, that
Dude,
wraps it up.
not really. Hold on, Eric. Not
Yeah.
really A1 specific related, but did you guys see the Ducati factory bikes that got released like right before we jumped on this? They were
It
all
looks like
over
a gas
Instagram. Like,
gas.
I don't know, dude.
It
It
looks
looks kind
just
of
like
sick.
another
They look
gas
pretty
gas.
sick.
It does look kind of like a gas, but dude, the graphic kit, that thing looks
Yeah.
badass. It looks fast. I don't know how it's gonna perform, but man, I like it.
It sounds good.
Hey,
I
I'm
like the
all
sound
for
of them.
new
They sound
bikes, new
cool.
brands. Triumph. We didn't really talk about that. Austin Forkner will have another Triumph out there. Hey, I'm all for
Oh, yeah,
new.
where does he
Shit. If
finish?
an ugly ass Beta can be on the track, then a fucking Ducati can be out there.
Yeah, Zach's taking a sip for Beta right now.
Yep.
What do you mean, Benny Bloss, dude? That guy rips.
Best looking
Yeah.
That's a
bike
Just
perfect
for
wild
he
card
sure.
fucking
pick in
6'10" and
Tennessee.
runs across the track.
Yep. Hey, Freckles out here. He rides at the tracks all the time that we go to out here. So who knows? But yeah, hey, I'm all for
Does
the new
Forkner
manufacturers
does
being out
Forkner
there. So
finish
fuck
top
it.
15?
We'll take it. Yeah, I think he does.
Do you think
I
he's
think he
ahead
does.
of Prado, Marchbanks?
He's in between.
Ahead, no, but 15th is pretty far. I mean, he'll be battling with Colt Nichols. And Colt Nichols is that 16, 17, 15 place guy.
I don't know if he makes the main.
If you
Colt
look
Nichols.
down into that realm, you get pretty low. You get into the Benny Blosses, the Freckles, the Joey Savatgy is actually probably a top 10 guy, I would say, bottom top 10. But I do think Forkner finds himself in the top 15 against this field.
So
I
you
think he
think
beats the Colt
Anderson's a top
Nichols.
guy?
Anderson's going to be like 12th.
You just said Joey Savatgy is a top 10 guy, and Anderson just beat him for a title.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, that's tough. I mean, who knows? I mean, Savatgy could let me down. He could be battling, outside top 10 as well. But I don't know. I just don't
What
have
do you
any
think about
faith
Christian Craig?
in fucking Anderson. I think he's going to be
Ride
battling
red,
down
baby.
the 15th as well too. I don't think it's going to be that great either. I think that's what you're going to have, that cluster of guys: the Colt Nichols, the Christian Craigs, the Austin Forkners, the Benny Bloss. I think Anderson will be above those guys. Who knows? Yeah, you mean Joey Savatgy. When Joey Savatgy sounds like he's kind of like in his own head. So I mean, we'll see. But I think they're going to all be battling for that 15th spot. I mean, there's not going to be very much room for these privateers to get into this group of 22 for the main event. That's for damn sure. It's going to be a hard year for privateers. So
I agree with that.
well, all right. Well, hey guys, that wraps it up for our first episode of 2026. A1 is only 4 days away. We're here. Supercross season is back. Keep an eye out for maybe a sport a betting podcast coming on later this week too. If we can get some lines, we love to kind of dabble in that and see what we look at as far as the lines there. But that's all we got for this week. Thanks for listening. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, follow us on Instagram, TikTok. But we will see you next week once Anaheim 1 finishes up, and we'll talk about heading into round number 2 as well. But thanks for listening. We'll see you later.